The scorching sun beat down on the bustling streets of San Miguel, the city alive with the chatter of street vendors, the clatter of trolley cars, and the smell of sizzling food drifting from every corner. Amidst this chaos, a small, unassuming taco stand sat at the intersection of two cobblestone streets, worn but inviting. Diego, the taco vendor, wiped the sweat from his brow and smiled at the familiar rhythm of customers coming and going. His life was simple, modest, and often lonely, but there was a quiet dignity in feeding people, seeing their faces light up at the first bite of his carefully crafted tacos. Then, just as he was turning a tortilla on the griddle, a voice sliced through the hum of the city. "Give me 3 tacos, and your number," the blonde said, her voice a mixture of confidence and mischief. She leaned casually against the stand, her sunglasses reflecting the bright afternoon sun, golden hair catching every ray like a halo. Diego froze, spatula in hand, unsure if he had heard her right. His life had never prepared him for a request like this, and yet, something in her eyes, a flicker of vulnerability beneath the boldness, stirred something deep inside him. Before the story goes further, if you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Kindness World. Stories like this remind us that every small act of courage can change someone's world. She introduced herself as Bianca, a freelance photographer who had recently moved to the city in search of inspiration. She wasn't just asking for tacos and a number, she was asking for a connection, a spark in a life that had grown tired of ordinary encounters. Diego, however, was hesitant. His life had been filled with struggles that had taught him to guard his heart. Years ago, he had dreamed of opening a small cafe, a place where people could feel warmth and belonging. But life, as it often does, had other plans. His father fell ill, and the responsibility of providing for his family fell squarely on his shoulders. His dreams were quietly buried under bills, repairs, and endless days in the sun. The tacos he served were more than food, they were pieces of his soul, crafted with love and memories of his mother teaching him to fold tortillas just right. And now here was Bianca, seemingly out of nowhere, challenging him to step outside the walls he had built around his heart. He glanced at her, noticing the faint tremor in her hands as she held her camera bag, the slight crease of worry between her eyebrows, the tiny scar near her temple barely visible beneath her hair. She was braver than she realized, standing there in broad daylight, vulnerable and daring all at once. 3 tacos, he said finally, his voice low, unsure, but steady. He began assembling them with the care he always did, each ingredient meticulously placed. Bianca watched intently, occasionally adjusting her sunglasses, occasionally tracing the lines of the small stand as if memorizing every detail. There was a silence between them, heavy and electric, that neither wanted to break. As he handed her the tacos, he finally answered her unspoken request. "Diego," he said simply, his number written neatly on a scrap of paper folded beneath a napkin. Bianca's eyes widened in surprise, then softened. She had expected hesitation, maybe rejection, but not this quiet, unexpected generosity. It was a moment that would forever change both of their lives. What Bianca didn't know was that Diego had a secret. Behind the taco stand, tucked into the shadows of the alley, was a small garden he had cultivated in stolen moments, tomatoes, peppers, herbs, and flowers he had nurtured with care. It was his sanctuary, a reminder that even in hardship, beauty could grow. That afternoon, he invited her behind the stand, and Bianca gasped at the sight of the vibrant green amid the city's gray. She reached out, brushing her fingers over the leaves, and in that touch, Diego saw the first real connection he had felt in years. Over the next few weeks, Bianca returned, first for the tacos, then for the stories Diego shared about his life, the city, and the secret garden. She photographed the city, capturing the colors, the people, the fleeting moments of joy and sorrow, but it was Diego who became the lens through which she truly saw the world. And Diego, who had once feared intimacy and change, began to open his heart, learning to laugh again, to hope again, to dream again. One afternoon, as the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the cobblestones, Bianca confided something she had never told anyone. She had come to San Miguel to escape a past filled with mistakes and heartache, a life where she felt invisible, unworthy, and unlovable. Diego listened, not with pity, but with understanding, sharing his own struggles without shame, acknowledging the scars they both carried. They were two souls, battered by life, slowly learning that vulnerability was not weakness, it was the path to connection. Days turned into weeks, and their bond deepened. The taco stand became more than a place to eat, it became a symbol of trust, of second chances, of the magic in small acts of kindness. People noticed the change in Diego, his eyes sparkled more, his smile lingered longer, and there was a rhythm to his movements that spoke of renewed hope. Bianca, too, transformed. The weight she had carried for so long lifted, replaced by the joy of companionship, laughter, and the thrill of new beginnings. But life, as it often does, tested them again. One day, a sudden storm flooded the streets, destroying parts of the taco stand and washing away Diego's precious garden. He was devastated, feeling as though everything he had built, everything that had brought light into his life, had been torn away in hours. Bianca, refusing to let him crumble under the weight of despair, held his hands, looked into his eyes, and said, "We can rebuild. Together." And in that moment, Diego realized that the tacos, the garden, and even the hardships were insignificant compared to the love and support they had found in each other. It took days of cleaning, repairing, and replanting, but slowly, the taco stand returned to life, brighter and more welcoming than ever. Passers-by noticed the renewed energy, the laughter spilling from the small corner of the street, and Diego realized that giving people food, hope, and kindness was his true purpose. Bianca continued her photography, capturing moments that reflected resilience, hope, and the beauty of ordinary life transformed by love. Months later, on a sunlit afternoon not unlike the first, Bianca and Diego stood together at the taco stand. She held a camera, he held a spatula, but more importantly, they held each other's hearts. Bianca leaned in, smiling softly, and whispered, "Do you remember the first day I asked for your number?" Diego laughed, a sound rich with warmth and relief, and nodded. "I do. And I also remember the moment I realized that sometimes, the smallest gestures, 3 tacos, a scrap of paper, a shared smile, can change everything." Their story became a quiet legend in the neighborhood, a reminder that courage, kindness, and a willingness to open your heart can create miracles in the most unexpected ways. They were no longer just a taco vendor and a photographer, they were a living testament to the power of second chances, of human connection, of love born from vulnerability. Near the end of this story, if this tale has touched your heart, please engage with the video, like, comment, and share. Let others know that even small acts of kindness can ripple into a lifetime of change. And before we end, a special request: take a moment today to reach out to someone you've lost touch with, to show kindness to a stranger, or to simply express gratitude to those who have quietly changed your life. These small gestures matter more than we often realize. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Diego and Bianca watched the city breathe around them, the taco stand alive with the aroma of sizzling tortillas, laughter, and hope. In that golden light, they knew that life's true richness wasn't in grand gestures or material wealth, it was in the moments of connection, the courage to trust again, and the beauty of hearts willing to heal together. And in that simple, sun-soaked street corner, amid the aroma of tacos and the hum of the city, 2 souls found the extraordinary within the ordinary, and nothing would ever be the same again.